Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about Casey Kasem, who was a disc jockey, actor. He was known for his radio personalities, and he was also famous for doing the America's Top 40, hosting it, but also creating it, right? And he was extremely known for his role in voicing Shaggy Rogers in Scooby-Doo. And we're going to be talking about his death and the circumstances surrounding it, right? Because it's a little off to me. So Casey Kasem, I'm just going to call him Casey because it's Kasem, and I kept saying Kasem, and I think that's messed up. So Casey, he married to Jean Thompson, who was the star on Cheers, right? She was that cute little blonde, and she always had like her hair up in that little baby voice. Whatever. So he was married to her, and he had 3 children from his previous marriage, and they end up like fighting over everything, right? So during this time, Casey gets sick, and he gets diagnosed with like a Parkinson's type disease. So when he got sick, Jean started isolating him, right, from his children, and his children kept trying to like see him more and more, but she just like wasn't having it. I don't know how it really worked with him, if she was just telling him that his kids didn't want to show up, or like what. Like, I'm really curious to know like what she was telling him, or was he already like too far gone to like understand what was happening, and he just, you know, just nobody was there and he just didn't like realize it. Anyway, so he got diagnosed with this thing, and she started secluding him, all of that stuff. So she ended up taking Casey to Washington State. So she takes him to Washington State. The kids show up there, and they have a court-ordered document to get him hospitalized, because he needs to be in a hospital, right? She's like keeping him at home. Is she even taking care of him right? Is she giving him the right care that he needs for this disease that he has? Which is weird, because money couldn't have been involved. So why was she doing that? Like, why didn't she just put him in a hospital? Like, he had enough money to be taken care of in this time. So it doesn't really make sense to me on why she would do that. But then when the kids went to go and give her this document, she starts like throwing frozen meat at them and like spouting Bible verses at them, which didn't even like make sense, right? So she's throwing this meat at them, she's spouting these verses, whatever the heck. It's court ordered, lady, just put him in the hospital, okay? So she puts him in the hospital, but then she ends up in, I'm not sure if it was like 2014 or whatever, like before he dies, or if the same year or what, but it probably couldn't have been too much longer before, but she ends up taking him out of the hospital at the rehabilitation center that he was in at 2:30 in the morning, unhooks all his crap and takes him home, right? Like, takes him home. Doesn't, like, I didn't even know you could do that, but I guess you can. When you're married, you just have rights. So she takes him home. Casey ends up dying in June of 2014, and so the kids are like, they're furious, you know, like they try to get her charged for elder abuse, but they drop the charges. There's no charges. It's not a homicide. He just died, you know. And so they do a civil suit against her for wrongful death, because they think that she maybe was torturing him, neglecting him, you know. Was she even able to care for this man under the circumstances? Like, does she have some kind of nursing degree, or like what the hell? So they do a civil suit against her for wrongful death, and she does one back to them, which is a little weird. I don't know what that civil suit had to do with. They're both saying that each of them were just in it for the money, you know. They were just like it was just basically greed that was like driving them, right? So they end up settling in 2019 in December for an unknown amount. But it's like, what really happened, right? And like, did she do anything wrong? So the police did open up the investigation, and but not as a homicide. They just wanted information surrounding his death, like was he neglected, so and so. But I guess they didn't find anything or didn't have any proof that he was neglected. But it's like, how would you have proof if somebody's dying, like if they're being cared for, right? Because, you know, by the time they die, I'm sure bed sores can be accounted for or stuff like that. Like, why did she take him out of the hospital? Why didn't she let her kids see him? Like, it's just so weird, right? It just doesn't make sense. Like, maybe she didn't, I don't know, like, I'm sure he was gonna die anyway, but did she, like, rush the process? I'm thinking that maybe she did. But that's my opinion. Let me know your opinions, and please subscribe to my channel, okay? I appreciate you guys, and bye.